I never thought I'd see the day when county officers shut down a ribbon-cutting ceremony in my own forest bulldozers, idling balloons, sagging investors scattering, while the HOA president was forced to rip down her own private property sign in humiliation. But that's where this fight ended. And it all started the moment she told me I was trespassing on land I legally owned. Act 1. The conflict begins. My name's Luke Porter. A few months back, I bought 190 acres of forest at a county auction. Clean deal, cash in hand, deed stamped with the county seal. I wanted peace trees, creeks, quiet. A place to start fresh. The morning I first set foot on my land boots crunching on damp leaves, the smell of oak all around me, I thought I'd found it. Until I heard a sharp voice cut through the stillness. "Excuse me, you can't park here. This is HOA property." No introduction, no hello, just that. Down the path marched a woman in a neon vest with HOA security scribbled across the back in marker. Clipboard clutched like a badge of authority. She looked more like a lost crossing guard than security. Her name, I'd later learn, was Paula Crayell, the HOA president. She planted herself in front of me, chin up. "You're trespassing. This is community property." I took a breath, pulled the deed from my jacket crisp as the day I'd signed for it. "Name's Luke Porter. Bought this parcel 3 weeks ago. Auction. It's mine." Her eyes snapped to the paper. She snatched it out of my hands, actually ripped it away, scanned it like she was searching for a typo that would make me disappear. Then her face went red. "That's impossible. We've maintained this land for years. This is our walking trail, our picnic area. You can't just buy it out from under us." I folded the deed, carefully nailed a laminated copy to a sturdy oak at the trailhead. Each hammer strike echoed through the trees. She gasped like I was defacing holy ground. "You can't do this," she shrieked. "This isn't over." And she stormed back toward the subdivision, that neon vest flapping behind her like a cape. For a second I wondered if I'd been too blunt. Maybe I could have eased the neighbors in, let them use the trails. But the way she grabbed that deed like everything I owned was already hers told me this was only the beginning. Sure enough, the next morning I found a violation notice taped to my shed. $400 for an unauthorized structure in community green space. My shed, which had been there for 30 years. Then came the drone hovering above my roof, recording me like some mechanical vulture. Then a certified letter addressed to current illegal occupant demanding 3 years of back HOA fees for years before I even owned the land. It hit me. I wasn't dealing with a misunderstanding. I was dealing with someone who thought she could bully me right off my property. Act 2. Escalation and doubt. The more I dug, the uglier it got. I found old county markers, concrete and weathered, showing clear boundaries. They didn't match the fresh wooden stakes Paula had planted. She'd literally tried to move the lines of the map. One evening a man knocked on my back door. Nervous, mid-40s, leash in one hand, phone in the other. "Mr. Porter, name's Nate Jensen. I live near the forest entrance." We sat on my porch. He slid his phone across the table. Bank records. Screenshots. Proof Paula had been funneling HOA fees straight into her personal account for years. No receipts, no treasurer, just her handwriting on every document. "She's been running the HOA like her personal ATM," Nate said quietly. "People stay silent because she makes life hell if you don't." I believed him. The bogus fines, the drone, the fake letters, yeah, it all fit. But Paula didn't just want money. She wanted control. She called an emergency community meeting right at my property line. Folding chairs, neighbors gathered, Paula pacing like she was delivering a State of the Union. She pointed straight at me. "This man claims he owns our forest," she barked, "but he's planning to sell it off to developers. These so-called papers," she jabbed at my laminated deed, "are forgeries." Murmurs ran through the crowd. I felt heat rising in my chest. Some of them nodded, believing her. For a second I honestly wondered, what if I really was the outsider here? What if I should have just let it go? That's the lowest point I hit. Standing there, deed in my hand, doubting myself. Wondering if fighting her was worth the stress, the sleepless nights. Then a neighbor spoke up. Nora Harris. Calm voice, steady as stone. "Paula, can you show us the HOA charter that proves we own this land?" Paula froze, stammered something about being updated. That was my opening. I stepped forward, pulled out photos of the county markers buried under leaves. "These are official. Been here for decades. Paula's wooden stakes don't line up because she planted them herself." The crowd shifted. Some frowned. Then more neighbors spoke. A mother trembling as she told how Paula fined her disabled son for using his wheelchair ramp until they tore it down. A retired accountant saying HOA funds never added up. One by one, stories spilled out. Years of fines, humiliation, missing money. That's when I realized I wasn't fighting alone anymore. Still, Paula pushed harder. Glossy brochures surfaced: woodland luxury retreat opening soon, cabins, yoga pavilions, champagne by the creek. My land. Deposits already taken. I spread them across my kitchen table, hands shaking. This wasn't petty HOA drama anymore. This was fraud on a massive scale. I called Nate. He just shook his head. She's gone all in. Paula doesn't bluff unless she thinks she's already won. For a moment, fear nearly broke me. I was just one man with a deed. She had investors, brochures, neighbors signing petitions. But then I remembered the kids chasing squirrels during my forest tour, the woman whose son suffered, the accountant who wanted truth. That was my reason to stand. And once I had that reason, doubt turned to resolve. Act 3, the climax and justice. Saturday morning I woke to the grind of engines. Through the trees I saw it, a yellow excavator lumbering down the trail, pickup trucks stacked with rebar, caterers setting up tables under a pavilion. Balloons floated. A banner stretched across my land. Woodland luxury retreat, grand dedication. And there she was. Paula. Tailored suit, satin ribbon draped across her chest, golden scissors in hand. Smiling like a queen at her coronation. I forced my way through the crowd, investors shaking hands, a politician rehearsing a speech, cameras flashing. "You can't be serious," I said. She leaned close, voice sweet poison. "Oh, Luke, all I need is momentum. Once concrete's poured, no judge will tear it down. Too many jobs, too much money. You can wave your deed all you want, but I've got cameras and politicians." Behind us, the excavator roared to life, bucket lowering toward the creek bed. "Stop," I shouted. My voice drowned in applause as Paula raised the scissors for the cameras. And then salvation. Sheriff's cruisers barreled down the access road, lights flashing. A county inspector stepped out with a megaphone. All unpermitted activity must cease immediately. Engines cut. Murmurs swept the crowd. The politician shoved his speech into his pocket. Investors cursed under their breath. Caterers packed sandwiches like soldiers retreating. The county assessor stepped forward, map in hand. "Mr. Porter, our survey shows the HOA clubhouse extends 12 feet onto your property. That building Paula's been running meetings from, it trespasses on your land." The irony hit like thunder. While Paula accused me of stealing trails, her entire empire sat illegally on my soil. I held the map high. Every meeting she's held, every dollar she's taken, it was done on stolen ground. Gasps, laughter. Cameras clicked. Paula's face drained of color. "Impossible," she whispered, but her scissors shook in her hand. Sheriff Ruiz stepped forward. "Ma'am, remove your signage and equipment immediately or face charges." And in the most surreal moment of all, Paula climbed a ladder, pulled down her own private HOA property sign, while flashes went off, capturing her humiliation forever. The woman who tried to erase my deed with fake stakes and glossy brochures was packing up balloons from her failed empire. I stood there, hands in my pockets, calm for the first time in months, watching her authority crumble in real time. A final lesson. Boundaries aren't just lines on a map, they're promises. And promises are worth defending.